Growing up, I was, and still am, a super happy child. I was always smiling and always laughing and making other people smile and laugh. I was also very, very much into crafts. I loved anything creative, so whether it was like glitter glue or stamps or beads, stationery, I loved it all. I used to come back to my elementary school teachers' classrooms in the summer, such a dork, to help decorate the room before the new school year started. And I see two classmates and they're right at the door waiting for me, and they said, "You're not one of us, because you're Arabic." And again, you know, I was always very vocal and very confident about who I was, so happy to just share who I was, and that was the first time I felt it like come back to me in a negative way. And I was like, what? Like, I couldn't even believe that happened, and I had never felt a pain like that, or it was the first time in my life that I had felt different. Because when you're a child, you're just a child, and you don't know any better, and you don't know that you are different necessarily until somebody tells you you are. That moment, I think, was the catalyst that allowed me to be planted even more firmly in who I was. It's the reason why hijab comes so easy to me and why I love it so much, because I take on this attitude of like, say something, I dare you. Because like, this is who I am, and I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops, and I don't care who says anything, because this is my right and this is what I believe.
When we were thinking about this business, it wasn't just a business idea. It was that not only is this person ignored, in this case a Muslim woman, but nobody was really advocating or really designing for her. A lot of the reason why she wasn't part of the conversation and nobody was designing for her is because nobody thought of her. She was ignored. You know, when you're designing or you're creating something for somebody, you really have to be thinking about who is that human being at their core.
Ahmed came home from work, and he came down that long corridor and he said, "I have the best idea." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "We should start a Muslim fashion brand."
Here I was, first year of marriage, have a very healthy career. I was getting promoted quite regularly, and things were going quite nicely in terms of my job there. Why would I want to do something like this?
I was like, "You cray."
I knew that I would have to convince her.
Ahmed always wanted to keep going and dream bigger and be all in, and I was really hesitant. It was very hard for me to do. I was working as an attorney at the international courts. I really loved my job. Ahmed was at the top of his career in digital marketing. His latest role was the VP of marketing at the largest fashion retailer in the Middle East. And we decided that we were gonna quit our jobs, our very financially secure jobs, move to New York City, the city that we knew virtually nothing about, had no family here, and we would take our little company and we would grow it. The way that hijab is consumed typically is it's a commodity. You get it off the street from wherever your parents are from for a few bucks, and it's terrible quality. Why can't there be a brand out there that's speaking specifically to this woman who's clearly in need of a great product? In 2010, when we launched with vintage scarves as hijabs. I would venture to say that for a long time, we didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of like rolled with it.
First year meant that I would come back from my work around 6 p.m. And Melanie and I would tear down our living room, build up a studio in our living room, and start shooting, and we wouldn't finish shooting until 3 a.m. in the morning.
We set out to be a clothing brand, a modest fashion clothing brand. So that first clothing line dropped in 2011.
Because we were one of the first movers into this space, we were helping to kind of set the tone and define what this was going to look like.
I was posting photos like of my travels and different behind the scenes stuff. And then finally one day I posted a photo of myself in one of our prints. And I remember that photo getting a type of engagement that I hadn't seen before, and people were resonating with the picture.
Erin was working with us part-time. Hijabs were stocked in boxes in her room, and she would take them out and package them and then take them to the post office.
Everything was riding on us making this business work. We didn't have a fallback plan. Ahmed wasn't about to go find a job. I wasn't about to go take the bar. This was it.
Now the styles I showed you will work with any size scarf, but the smaller ones in particular,
I think we just assumed that, hey, we sell hijabs, we should probably put a hijab tutorial out there.
this is how you wear this.
And it was terrible, and nobody probably saw it. It was so dumb.
Melanie has a very magnetic personality. I think that she is much better than I am at understanding people's motivations.
They want somebody that they can connect to, somebody that looks like them, someone they can actually have a conversation with.
The stress and anxiety that comes with building a company and a brand, I think almost never ends, especially because you always know that it could be better. You always see where we're falling short, and for me, I'm just excited about what's next, what's happening next, and we need to get to it faster, and we need to do it better.
In January of 2016, we moved in with my mom. I mean, like, my mom. Like, we were grown adults. Moved back in with my mom from April 2016 till probably December 2017. I don't know who I was, what we did. By the end of 2017, we had finally raised that first round. It took forever, but we did it. We then started hiring. That, I say, was the turning point by which I can kind of look at the company and delineate from January 2018 on and January 2018 before. That's when our luxury line was born. And our audience and our community that we had built really got to see hijab in a different light.
The favorite thing that we've done thus far is the underscarves. Before we came out with this product, like, I remember feeling pained by it because, how could something that is advocated by our faith hurt you? We heard the feedback, and people, almost like a sigh of relief.
Much more involved by way of design, completely innovated in terms of the textile, and the first time that you see real tech elements in a textile in hijab. The next year, we then came out with our heritage collection and our first embellished collection.
I always loved that we had community surrounding the brand.
It is just such a pleasure to serve them. I can't say that enough. It's literally an honor. And I tell this to my team all the time, that you should consider this a great privilege and an honor that you get to serve this incredible woman. We started with Ahmed and I, and now we have 23 people on the team.
We were trying to be part of that voice of a multiracial, multicultural community that represents our history. It doesn't feel like 10 years. It feels actually like we're just getting started, because we're finally at a point where we're starting to realize and to put out there the products that our customers have always wanted and demanded. We're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead in terms of what are the things that need to be done to make sure that everything that you're wearing is ethically sourced, everything that we deliver to you is recyclable.
Ahmed was able to push me and my boundaries. Ahmed and I just made the best duo.
We're really making something truly beautiful, manifesting something beautiful into the world.
All I've ever wanted with this company is for any woman who wears hijab to wake up every morning feeling so positive about it and so excited to pull out her collection of hijabs, choose something beautiful, put it on, and walk out the door feeling great. It's so simple, but at the same time, really difficult for a lot of women. And that, for me, is why I'm here and why I'm doing this work, so that every woman can feel comfortable and confident and so happy to be putting on hijab every morning.